This is the Hubble Deep Field, an image taken and compiled in 1995 using the Hubble Space Telescope. Before I say more, it's important to look at the image. The clarity seems a little obtuse, the bright spots blurry. But it is in understanding the image that the blurriness adds, not detracts. In 1995, astronomer Bob Williams wanted to point the Hubble Space Telescope at a patch of sky filled with absolutely nothing for 100 hours. When the Hubble Space Telescope was put in orbit in 1990, it was the first time a large telescope of its kind had been placed outside of our atmosphere. It was to provide unprecedented views of objects in our universe. But receiving its first images, something was wrong. Instead of rich and vibrant views, the images were fuzzy, out of focus. On December 2nd, 1993, astronauts aboard the Space Shuttle Endeavour left on a mission to correct Hubble's faulty optics. The mission? A success. Astronomers were now clamouring to use the instrument. Only months before the Hubble Deep Field, one of Hubble's most astounding images was taken on April 1st, 1995. The Pillars of Creation, a composition showing gas and dust collecting to create new stars, while at the very same time being eroded by light from stars that have recently formed. Back to Bob Williams. The Telescope Allocation Committee would never have approved such a long, risky project. But see, Bob Williams was the director of the Space Telescope Science Institute. As director, he had 10% of the telescope time, and could do what he wanted. For 36 days of the year, the director can assign special projects. Projects that might not have research applications, might not result in papers, but are purely interesting. Now remember, the telescope had only been fully functional for a year and a half. The director's decision must have been puzzling. Scientific discovery requires risk, and he was at a point in his career where, if it's that bad, he'll resign. He'll fall on his sword. Williams put together a team, and for 100 hours between December 18 and 28, Hubble stared at a dark patch of sky near the Big Dipper's handle. The images were processed and combined, coloured, and 17 days later released to the public. This is what they saw. There are 3,000 distinct galaxies. Irregular and spiral galaxies are clearly visible. Some galaxies only a few pixels across. There are fewer than 24 ground stars, that is, stars in our own galaxy, the Milky Way, but by far the majority of objects in this field are distant galaxies. Galaxies completely separate from our own. The Milky Way itself contains 200 to 400 billion stars, with at least 100 billion planets. Each of these dots could contain equal amounts of stars and planets. Several other projects have followed on from this work. The Hubble Deep Field South, Hubble Ultra Deep Field, the Ultra Extreme Deep Field. But it is this image, this vista, that for the first time captured the awe and immense nature of the deep time machine that is space. And as for Williams, it turned out to be a neat image, really.